Hello everyone, welcome to Global Government News. Today is Thursday, April 21st, 2011. I'm Darko. This is part 4, the final part for today. My website is www.ggnonline.com. That's ggnonline.com. Okay, this is an article that was with the video of the black helicopters basically flying around at night and scaring the living daylights out of people. We've had these black helicopters flying overhead here in northwest Indiana more frequently than ever, and of course they fly right over my house. I'm not saying they're coming for me, but I'm just saying that I've seen them at night now where they're just flying around, and you know, they got their spotlight going around, like moving around looking for somebody or something. But so military choppers startled downtown Miami, and said residents in the neighborhood saw and heard several military-style pitch black helicopters flying around and hovering on top of brickle buildings Tuesday night and early Wednesday morning. Turns out it was a training exercise by the Southeast Regional Domestic Security Task Force, right? And who are they training for? They're training for me. They're training for you. They're training for the, quote, terrorists. And why do I say that? Because the whole war on terror is a sham, and it's a war on individualism. So if you are an individual and you respect just personal property and privacy and sovereignty, then you are a terrorist. So this is all for you, and that's why they're training for it. It says here, sick cruise passenger dropped in sea. Grandmother taken ill on a cruise ship fell into a freezing Arctic Ocean after being dropped by paramedics, transferring her to a rescue boat. I mean, can you imagine getting dropped into icy Arctic waters? Even when, I mean, and you're being medevaced at the time. U.S. marks a Gulf oil spill anniversary, and then you have Barroso out there acting as if he gave a damn. 1 year after the ruinous oil spill in the Gulf of Mexico, U.S. President Barroso has pledged to hold BP accountable for the worst environmental disaster in U.S. history. Well, no, you can't, Mr. Obama, because they're a corporation. And, well, you can't do jack squat to them. All you can do is tell them, you know what, just to appease the slaves, why don't you make a little fund, and then we can turn that into a big bureaucracy where you can, you know, just bribe people off and stuff like that. But no, they're not going to be held liable because they're a corporation, because we have a government, unfortunately. Gulf of Mexico health still at low level. A group of scientists have said the devastating oil spill in the Gulf of Mexico last year has caused significant declines in the body of water's key health indicators. Then we have Obama praises golf workers 1 year after oil spill. So what's up with those golf workers? Oh, illness, plague Louisiana oil spill cruise. State of Louisiana has reported 415 cases of health problems linked to spill. So hey, thanks guys. Says here, Gallup, Obama's approval among Hispanics drops to all-time low. And then we have this, Obama's approval hits all-time low in Gallup poll. Next up, we have BP sues Halliburton over Gulf disaster. That's because what? It says it's claiming its misconduct contributed to last year's Deepwater Horizon disaster that led to the worst offshore spill in U.S. history. And, well, they're just, this is the day, this is the anniversary. So what are they going to do? They're going to put out a little PR piece that says, oops, see, Halliburton, they did it. It's not us, it's Halliburton. And it says here, a new breed of gagging order could send journalists to jail, MP claims. And it says fears reporters could face imprisonment simply for asking questions, creating a recipe for hiding miscarriages of justice. So, and you technically, it's hard to even, if you're a citizen journalist, to really even get answers out of these bastards, because they're just criminals, man, and they know it. And most of them, I don't want to say most of them, but I would go on a limb and say many of them are just dark, decrepit souls that worship Lucifer. And you know what? I wouldn't even want to bother with them, because they would just make me sick to my stomach just being around them. So anyways, here we go. China's new body scanner debuts. And I just want to say, you've seen you know, videos of, you know, Rockefeller, other people, that one 33-degree Mason that said he loves worshiping Lucifer. I'm just using those two as an example, but you'll see when they talk, they're totally talking down to people. And you saw Obama telling that Texas reporter the other day, you know, basically telling him what not to do, to don't question his answers, right? You don't question Obama's answers. Why? Because they're all written down for him. So if you start if you start, challenging his answers, his argument, well, then he doesn't know what to do because he's just a fucking robot that reads off a teleprompter. China's new body scanner debuts, promises privacy. Oh, they promise privacy just like the U.S. I guess that means you get to have your 6-year-old daughter groped and molested at the airport, right? I guess that's what privacy means nowadays. So here we go. Bunny Lady versus the TSA. And it says here that she had a hassle with the TSA over a basket of colorful confetti-filled eggs. So, and if you live in certain countries, actually celebrating Easter and Christmas is now banned in school. When censoring the internet, follow the leader. China leads the way of the internet repression, and others are catching on. Why? Because that was the plan. They were the model. And the one-child policy and all that is the model too. Cyberstrategy for U.S. military expected to be unveiled soon. Oh, I look forward to that. Military's new cyber strategy is expected to be unveiled soon. Will not only lay out a comprehensive plan to secure military computer networks, but also designate cyberspace as a battleground comparable to air, land, and sea. So I guess that means my website will go away. Data centers boom, modular construction on the rise as cloud services grow. Talking about cloud computing, storing all of your hard drive, your memory in a remote location. Yeah, that sounds really, really good. And it says that these vast warehouses of computers that power the internet and are giving us rise to a growing market known as cloud computing services. Says here, Dutch data protection watchdog criticizes Google over Wi-Fi network information collection, and talking about Google collecting data on private wireless networks, ordering it to contact 3.6 million Dutch Wi-Fi owners and offer them a way to have their data deleted. Not going to happen. Just like the blood DNA and databases, not going to happen. Michigan police search cell phones during traffic stops, and that's it's quote legal now, so they can do that. Your iPhone is tracking your location history, and that's big news today in Yahoo. All the slaves get to find something out that they should have already known when they bought the damn thing. But they just have to listen to the mainstream media in order to find that out, to tell them. Because if I tell them in my news reports, it's not real. It doesn't exist. But if the mainstream media douchebags tell them, well then, hey, good to go. You know, that's pure truth. So Feds to the Supreme Court allow warrantless GPS monitoring. They're already doing it. Just like the chemtrail. Let's look at doing it. No, they're already doing it. And that's what should tick you off. Because it ticks me off. You know, every morning I wake up, walk my dog, whatever, and there's a little bit of a sun with a bunch of chemtrails, but there's still sun. There's still sunlight, right? And then by the end of the day, and this is the thing, I walk out my door, I say, you bastard, damn you, like Kenny, like, damn you bastards, and, because they're spraying me and I have no consent over it. I have no free will in that department. And they're bombarding me with ELF, so just a mile away with a big freaking tower, and I have nothing to do with it. I have no say at all. So right off the bat, my rights are being violated, and I see that every single day. And what do I say to myself? Well, it sucks, because not only are they spraying me, and not only are they carrying out eugenics on me, but also they're taking away my sunlight. By the end of the day, the sun will be gone. And rest assured, it was today. It was gone. They took away the sun. And what is that to do? What is that going to do? Well, there's many purposes for the chemtrails and all that, but another reason could be what? Lack of vitamin D. You're not getting vitamin D, and you need sunlight. It's healthy for you, and it also is good for your outlook as far as depression goes. So they like to take away our sun, take away that light, right, and keep us in darkness. Army surveillance bot approved for use by police and firemen. Check this out. I have a lot of stories to cover still, so I'm just going to whip through these guys. The links will be posted. The Terminator's drone strikes prompt MOD to ponder ethics of killer robots, analysis of unmanned aircraft, and combat urges Britain to establish policy on acceptable machine behavior. Well, they could have figured that out or sat down on the table before they just unleashed these drones in Pakistan and the Middle East and started killing thousands of children and women and children, right, and innocent civilians. But no, let's just do it first and we'll deal with it later, right? And then we'll talk about a debate as if it happened or occurred sometime. New York State says these kids' games pose significant risks of injury. So now they're going to basically cancel dodgeball and all those other types of things so that we basically produce a society full of pansies. Oregon Senate passes bill that would allow universities to have police departments. They already do. This is like everything else, dude. I live in a city, in a small city that has a university, a private university. They have their own police department. They have their own office. New Jersey woman shides New York smoker, gets stabbed with pen. So, it's illegal to smoke in New York City now, outdoors and parks and all that. So good little slave, and this is how it works in communism. Good little slave had to check the other slave and put him into check, and basically they got stabbed by a pen. So. But according to the article, the man who was smoking lit up inside the train, which, maybe 30 years ago you can get away with that and smoke on a plane or a train or a bus, but no, you can't do that anymore for other people's health and safety. I know there's a lot of people that agree with that, and I do too, but I'm just not for I'm not for using the law to ban things. I think people should, they should have cars just for smoking. You can do that. Have a smoking car. Have a smoking cabin. You know what I mean? That's free market. That's what would exist without a government. But when you have a government, it's just this or that. Ban it, everything or nothing, right? CDC expects broader smoking ban, and like I said before, you heard it from me. If they get their way, smoking will be banned completely. And the only reason I can see why is because it's possibly combating the chemtrailing that they're doing. That's the only reason. In the synthetic fibers that are in your body, you're coughing them up if you're smoking. And that's the only reason I can see why they're against it. Besides possible, there's actually doctors that say that it's not bad to smoke a couple cigarettes a day. It says armed agents kidnapped child from mother who used holistic treatments instead of pharmaceutical drugs to treat condition. Then new record, 26 million Americans now have diabetes. What's the cure? Vitamin D helps diabetics maintain healthy blood sugar levels. Says nearly half of Brazilians adults overweight, says study. CT scans use monitor success of cancer treatment cause more cancer. So there you go. Radiation exposure chart admits cancer radiotherapy delivers fatal dose to patients. So go get scanned and be scared and slap that pink ribbon on your car to let everybody know that you're aware that you're being hit by eugenics. You know that it's out there and you can't do a damn thing about it. Malaysia sends 66 boys to anti-gay camp. Then Malaysia report cards to grade students on weight. Watching too much TV harms kids' heart. And it's like I said, TV frequency is same as your brain frequency, and that is no coincidence. I'm sure this isn't either. Of course, many coincidences. A hospital may affect seniors' memory. Well, of course, you get thrown in a hospital and thrown away, disposable society, like a piece of garbage, and yeah, you become useless. You feel useless, and you lose your mind. Statins cause memory loss and depression. Then we have prematurity ups ADHD risk. And then look at this. We have rates of premature births hit new high in U.S. and it said that it was up 30% since 81 when they first started keeping records. Nanoparticles destroy soil and environment, study finds, talking about chemtrails. High levels of GMO agrochemicals found in breast milk of Brazilian mothers. And then we have millions of malaria drugs stolen from global health fund. And then look at this. What's the solution? Oh, GM mosquitoes offer malaria hope. So they're just going to release a bunch of mosquitoes, like Bill Gates said. It's in order to vaccinate people. Badger vaccine pilot planned by National Trust and Devon, so eugenics for animals. Just like spaying and chipping your dog. Fluoridation makes us stupid and unhealthy, according to a Chinese study. More tainted buns found in China. And then it says here, China intensifies crackdown on illegal use of non-edible materials in food. That's a good thing, I guess, right? Homegrown nutrition research set for Africa, talking about NGOs helping, called Sunray. That should just give you enough clue there. The sun, here we go. Organic farmers sue Monsanto to protect against contamination. Energy-saving light bulbs contain cancer-causing chemicals. Radioactive water, 20,000 times legal limit. Then Japan seals off no-go zone zone around nuclear plant. Then radiation fallout from Japan affects food safety across North America. Fukushima update. TEPCO admits radiation leak will continue for at least 3 months. Japan consumers may bail out nuke plant owner. And the report says Japan's GDP growth will slow to 0.8%. Then we have temperatures are soaring in Britain. Government issues Easter weekend smog alert and chemtrail alert. And then we have China seas rising at faster rate than global average. Then Americans believe climate change is occurring. It is man-made climate change. It's called weather modification. Do birds use magnetic field to plan migration routes? And humpback whales use the magnetic field. And look at this shift in Earth's magnetic North Pole. So what's going on with all the dead birds? And this is GGN, and I'm Dark.